children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So children, as we all know that science tells us a lot many things about everything around us. So children, do you know what are the three basic necessities of a human being? I'll tell you. The three basic necessities of the human beings are food, shelter and clothing. Alright. So, we have already spoken about food in our previous chapters, okay, and also in our previous classes. Now, we are going to talk about houses and clothes in this chapter, alright. So, let's begin and we are going to learn about importance of house, types of houses, characteristics of a good house, clothes and their types, alright. So, let's begin. Our house protects us from the heat, cold and rain. It also keeps us safe from animals, dust, thieves and germs. We build different types of houses at different places. The type of house and the material used depends upon the place where the house is to be built. Alright, so children, this is the requirement of a house. So, in earlier days, okay, in olden time, in the ancient area, what used to happen was, people were living in the open, okay. Now, we all know that when we stay in the open, what may happen, okay. We may have to face the harsh weather conditions, we may have to face the dust or maybe something falling from the trees or maybe, okay, wild animals. So, because in the olden time, people generally used to live in the forest areas and all. So, that is the reason why there was always a fear of any stray animal coming and biting others or insects biting, okay. So, that is when the need for houses developed, okay. And once the need developed, man started finding things and ways by which he could make a house. Okay, now he has already made the house. Now he started thinking about making different ways of keeping a house that can live for long, okay, and also making houses depending on the places that they were living. Alright, so let's talk about the different types of houses that man built. On the basis of material used for building houses, they are of following types. So, for every house, every different type of house that is built, there is a different kind of material that is required, okay. So, let's talk about the kacha houses first. Now, these are generally made in villages with wood, mud, straw, bamboo and sticks. So, kacha houses are not very strong and they are temporary. So, these were like one of the first houses that the ancient people started building. So, this was a kacha house. It is not a permanent house, okay. So, it is generally made of wood. It was made of mud, straws and all that thing. So, maybe if the person found that that place is not safe enough for them to live anymore, they could move out from there. It was like a temporary shelter that they built for themselves. And there are still these houses in villages that exist, okay. Although people may live there for years and years because they keep on doing the repair work and making it sustainable for years, okay. Now, let's talk about a pakka house, okay. Now, these are generally built in cities, okay. Now, these are the houses that are constructed in the cities using material, okay, that will help it to live for, to stay there for years, okay. Now, these are permanent and strong houses. They are made of bricks, cement, steel and iron rods. Flats and bungalows in cities and towns are pakka houses. So, these are the houses. So, if you must have seen that, suppose there is a bungalow which is built, okay, you will see that that bungalow, instead of demolishing it, people resell it and then the person starts doing the interior work or painting the house and all. But that place, that house stays there for years, okay. So, these are pakka houses and the material used is quite sturdy, okay. Now, let's talk about tent and caravans, okay. House made of canvas, okay, they are called tents. So, it is like a canvas material which is used to build this house called tent. Now, the houses on wheels, they are called caravans, okay. People who travel from place to place live in tents, okay, and they are called nomads. Now tents, they can be folded, they can be packed up and are easily carried from one place to another. So children, here what happens is a person maybe for work purpose or maybe for the type of maybe it can be a group of folk dancers who want to display their art to different type of people, okay, or different people from different states and all. So they move about in caravans. Okay. Now caravan is like a house which is built on wheels. So it's like a maybe a bus or something like that, which is converted into a house having all the facilities in that. Now these people also carry tents. So if they don't want to stay in the house, what they do is they build they make their own tents outside. Okay, and they stay there. Soldiers and all, okay, army people and all, they generally live in tents because they cannot stay in one place for a longer time. They have to protect themselves from the enemy and our country. Alright. So these are the people who live in tents and they are generally called nomads. Okay, and there are people who live in caravans. Okay, now then there is another type of house which is called the stilt house. Okay, now in some places where it rains a lot, houses are raised from the ground. These houses are built on wooden poles. Such houses are called stilt houses. So now what happens is there are areas where there is lot of rainfall, okay, and then there are chances of floodings. So that is the reason why people build their houses on stilts or pole. Okay. Now next is houseboats. Now this house is a floating house made of wood. Houseboats can be seen floating in lakes of Kashmir and Kerala. So here also you will see that the houseboat has everything. It has kitchen, it has bedrooms, everything possible in that. The only difference is that the houseboat is on the lakes. So in Kashmir, if you see on the Dal Lake, you will see all these houseboats. Now these houseboats at Dal Lake, they stay there only, okay, they don't move. But in Kerala, the houseboats, they move near the ocean during the daytime and they come back and stay near the shore at night. Now, the next type of house is the igloos. Now, houses in cold places are made of by cutting blocks of ice. Such houses are called igloos. So, when any person goes on a snow expedition, for example, somebody is gone to Mount Everest, okay, what they do is, and now this person, okay, who's going like that, and the person who lives in all these snow regions, okay, polar regions and all, they are called Eskimos. Now what they do is, sometimes there is a fear of snowstorms, there is a fear of wild animals. So at night, okay, to keep themselves safe, they start building their own houses using ice blocks and they stay inside. So they are protecting themselves from the weather condition, at the same time they are protecting themselves from the wild animals also. Okay? Now, let's see what makes a house a good house. Right? A house may be big or small. It should have following features. So not everyone stays in a house which is like of a similar area, like it can be a big house, it can be a small house, but there are certain characteristics which have to be maintained in any kind of house that you live. Now, the rooms of the house should be airy or well ventilated and well lit. Okay, airy as in there should be windows, there should be doors and there should be air that can flow through the entire house. Okay, it should be well ventilated. Okay, that means there should be a scope that the air moves around in the house, okay, and the bad air goes out of the house also, alright, and well lit. There should be sufficient light in the house, okay, not only artificial, but sunlight is also very important, okay, to keep the house away from germs. Now, the second point, a house should have open areas such as balconies or verandas for fresh air and sunlight. Okay, as I said, fresh air and sunlight plays a major role, okay, in keeping your house fresh and away from the germs. Okay, now windows and doors of the houses should have wire netting to prevent the entry of mosquitoes and flies. As you all know, mosquitoes and flies, okay, they are the carriers of different types of diseases, okay, because you know that they sit outside on the garbage, okay, on gutter and all these open drainages, and what happens is they carry, okay, different diseases with them or different types of germs with them inside our house. So, in order to prevent them from entering the house, okay, we have to ensure that our windows are all netted. They have those nettings, okay, at the same time even the doors, all right, and there should not be gaps from where they can come in. Now, a house should have a well planned drainage system that carries dirty water away from the houses. Drains should be kept clean and covered. Okay, this is very important, because if the water starts accumulating in the house, or especially the dirty water, again diseases will start building up, okay, and germs will start playing their role, okay, of spreading the disease. Now, water should not be allowed to stagnate in and around the house. Stagnate as in to be collected in and around the house, okay. It is the breeding ground for mosquitoes. All right. Now, household waste should be disposed of regularly. So, ensure all these things are done so that your house is neat and clean. Okay. Apart from that, keep your house healthy and clean. To keep your house healthy and clean, we should keep all the things in the right place. So, when we keep things in the right place, whenever we need them, we find them easily. At the same time, your house looks very neat and tidy. Dust the household appliances and mop the floor daily with disinfectants. Wash basins, toilets and bathrooms must be washed and cleaned daily. Cobwebs, okay. Now, what are these cobwebs? The spider webs which are there, they are called the cobwebs, okay. They need to be removed regularly. Garbage must be thrown in a proper dumping place and not on the road. So, whenever if in your house any garbage collector comes, you must hand over the garbage bags to him, okay, with all the garbage that is there, right. Now, curtains, they must be washed regularly, okay. So, children, these are the things that make our house neat and clean, okay, at the same time that helps us to breathe fresh air also. So, ensure that all these things are maintained in your house, okay. So, now you have to do an activity. You have to draw or paste the pictures of things that you use to keep your house clean. So, we use different items that help us to clean the house. For example, it can be a disinfectant like a Lysol or a Harpic or maybe Colin. So, you can collect picture, or the dusting mop, okay. So, collect these different items, take the pictures and then paste the pictures, all right. So, I hope you will quickly do this activity, all right. Now, moving from houses to clothes and fibers, okay. Now, why are clothes important? They protect us, our body, from the different type of weather, from insect bites, animal bites, okay. So, now, clothes, they are one of our basic needs. Clothes protect us from heat, cold, rain and dust, okay. We use different materials like cotton, silk, slitter, etc. for making clothes. A fabric is a material made of natural or artificial fibers woven together. So, now these clothes are very important for us, because in earlier time when the clothes were not made, people used to started finding the need for clothes, because obviously the weather used to be harsh, there were insects, there were animals and also at the same time there were dust, okay. So, in order to prevent that, so then they started collecting leaves, and then they started making clothes of the leaves, but obviously these leaves cannot stay for long and they cannot protect you at all times. So, that is when they started utilizing things that were available in the nature and started making fibers and fabrics and all right. So, this is how due to the needs, okay, inventions were made, all right. Now, so there are different types of fabrics. What is a fabric? It is a material which is made up of natural or artificial fiber, okay, which is woven together. Now, the different types of fabrics are like polyester, cotton fiber, silk, nylon. So, let's look at the natural fibers first, wherein natural things available in the nature are utilized for making a fabric. Okay, cotton, wool and silk, they are natural fibers. Okay, we get them from plants and animals. Okay, so cotton you get from plants, cotton plant, wool and silk from animal. Okay, now let's talk about plant fiber first. Cotton and jute we get from plants. We get cotton from cotton plant. Okay, now animal fibers, we get silk from silkworm and sheep give us wool. Okay. So, now let us talk about synthetic fibers. What are these synthetic fibers? They are the fibers which are man-made. Okay. For example, nylon, terracotta and polyester. So, these are man-made fibers. Okay. Now, different seasons, different clothes. We all know that depending on the season, we choose our clothes. Okay. So, in different weather conditions, we wear different clothes. In summer months, we wear cotton clothes. Such clothes keep us cool and comfortable. Okay. Now, we wear thick woolen clothes in winter. They keep us warm. In rainy season, there is a lot of rainfall. We wear raincoats, gumboots and carry umbrellas wherever we go. So, these are made up of waterproof clothes and keep us dry. So, alright, now apart from the protection part, okay, what happens when you wear nice clothes? You feel that you are looking smart. You look good with different types of clothes that you wear, isn't it? So, clothes make us look good, they make us look smart, and at the same time when we look good and when we look smart, automatically we get confident, isn't it? So, clothes not only protect us from heat, rain, cold and insects, but they also make us look smart. We should keep our clothes neat and tidy. Okay. So, in order to look smart, in order to feel good, your clothes have to be neat and tidy. Okay. You have to wash them regularly. You have to get them ironed. Okay. So, always ensure that you are dressed well. Alright. Now, let's do a quick revision of the entire chapter. Okay. What is a house? It gives us protection from heat of the sun, the cold winter, storms, wind, rain, thieves, animals, dust and germs. Kacha houses are temporary and made of wood, mud, straw and dry leaves. Pakka houses, they are permanent and made of brick, cement, iron and steel. People who travel from one place to another live in tents and caravans. Alright, now a house on boat is called a houseboat, whereas a house made of ice is called igloo. A healthy house is well lit, airy and clean. Clothes are made of fibers. We wear different types of clothes in different type of seasons or different weather conditions. Alright, so I hope children everything is clear about the clothes and about the houses. Okay, now it's time to do the exercise and evaluate ourselves. Alright, now multiple choice questions. Take the correct option. Which of these is not a material of kacha house? A, straw, B, iron rod, C, wood or D, grains? Okay. So, the answer is, it is B, iron rods. Alright. Now, next. The houses made on poles. They are tents, houseboats, stilt house or caravans. Houses made on poles. They are stilts. Which of the following is not a natural fiber? Wool, silk, polyester or cotton? It is polyester. Houses found in cold areas are tents, igloos, stilt or houseboat. They are B, igloos. Which of the following clothes we wear in rainy season? Raincoat, cotton trouser, sweater or silk dress? We wear a raincoat. Okay. Now, fill in the blanks. Dash our house on boat. Okay. They are houseboat. We get dash fibers from plants and animals. We get natural fiber from plants and animals. Tent is made of synthetic canvas or temporary. It is a canvas. Okay. Nylon is a synthetic fiber. And kacha houses are temporary houses. Alright. Now, write T for true and F for false statement. Pakka houses are made up of cement, bricks, iron rods, etc.? Absolutely true. Yes. Okay. Now, we get wool from silkworm? No, we don't get wool from silkworm. What do we get? We get silk from silkworm. Wool is given by sheep. Alright, so this is a false statement. A good house should have defective drainage system. Absolutely wrong answer. Okay, it is a false statement. It has to have a effective drainage system. Caravans can be folded, packed and carried from one place to another. Absolutely false. Okay. Tents can be carried. Caravans are what? They are houses on wheels. Okay. They cannot be folded or packed. Weather conditions are not responsible for our choice of clothes. This is false. We wear clothes according to the weather. Alright. Now, choose the right word from the given words. A bungalow, a caravan is a temporary house. A caravan. Silk or nylon is a fiber we get from animal. What is it? We get silk. Windows or walls give us fresh air. Who gives it? Windows. With the open windows, obviously children, don't forget that. Houseboat or stilt houses are made in areas where there is heavy rainfall. Stilt houses. We get cotton or wool from sheep. We get wool from sheep. Identify the type of house and also write the place it is built. So, children, I have already told you about the description. Now, you have to guess it from the pictures. Okay. Match the column with the column B. Okay. Tent. What is a tent? Tent can be folded and packed. Rains. In rains, we need to cover ourselves. Okay. So, covered. Then, dustbin. What is dustbin used for? It is used for kitchen and bathroom waste. Okay. Caravan is house on wheels and jute is a plant. Okay. Now, short answer questions. Why do we need a house? We need a house to protect ourselves from the weather conditions and dust and also insects, okay, or animal bites. Name two types of temporary house. Okay. We have already spoken about these. Okay, we can say the temporary houses are the kacha houses or the caravans. Okay, where do mosquitoes breed? They breed on stagnant water. Okay, what will happen if you spread the things on the floor? If you spread the things on the floor, someone might trip and fall. Okay, what is the purpose of open space in a house? Open space gives the air. Okay, more space to move around in the house. Okay, and then there is good circulation of air in the entire house. Okay. Now, long answer questions. You have to write any three features of a good house. We have already done this in detail. So, it is going to be quite easy for you to write the answer if you read the chapter again. Okay. Write the differences between kacha house and pakka house. Okay. This is very easy. Kacha houses are temporary. Pakka houses are permanent. So, now depending on this, elaborate and write your answer. What is the purpose of wire nettings on doors and window? Wire nettings, they prevent the mosquitoes and house flies from entering the house. At the same time, any other type of insect also. Okay. List few ways by which you can keep your house clean. We have spoken about different ways like using a disinfectant, throwing off the garbage. Okay. How are artificial fibers different from natural fibers? Natural means fibers we get from plants and animals. Artificial is the man-made fiber. So, elaborate it and write about it in detail. Alright. Now, let us talk about critical thinking skills. You have to observe this picture very carefully. Okay, and then list two problems that people living in such houses and surroundings would be facing. So, look at this picture and then think about what are the different types of problems the people living in this house must be facing. Okay, especially if the surroundings are dirty. Okay, diseases come because it gives a place for the different types of insects to breed. Okay, and then to spread the diseases. Okay, the different germ causing diseases start building up in these areas. Okay, why fabrics of natural fiber are better than the artificial fiber? Okay, natural fibers, they absorb sweat and keep our body cool. At the same time, Even when we wear a natural fabric during winters, it keeps us warm. Okay. Why do we use cement, iron and steel to build pakka houses? Because these make the house strong and permanent. Okay. So, elaborate on this more. Alright. Now, case-based study. Okay. We need clothes to cover our body and protect us from heat, cold and rain and dust. Okay. They also protect us from insect bites. We wear different types of clothes depending upon the weather condition of the place where we live. Summer clothes are made from cotton and jute. They keep us cool and comfortable in the heat and also absorb sweat. Winter clothes are made of wool, silk and fur. They keep the body warm and they protect us from cold. Clothes are made of different types of fibers. Fibers are of two types, natural and man-made. Natural fibers are obtained from plants and animals. Plant fibers come from plants like cotton, jute, flax, etc. Okay, animal fibers, they include wool and silk that comes from animal hair, fur, etc. Some clothes, they are made from fibers made by man. So, these fibers are made from different materials like in the factories. Okay. So, some of the examples of man-made fibers are polyester and nylon, rayon and terrycotton. Okay. Now, let's solve this based on the comprehension that we've read, okay, or the case study that we've just read. Summer clothes, they are made up of wool, cotton, nylon or all of these, they are made up of cotton. Winter clothes are made up of wool, cotton, nylon or all of these, they are made up of wool. Man-made fibers are polyester, nylon, rayon or all of these, it is all of these. What are natural fibers? Natural fibers are the fibers that are obtained from plants and animals. Why do we wear cotton clothes in summer? We wear cotton clothes in summer because they keep our body cool and comfortable. Okay? Now, life skills. Take the correct option. You will opt to keep your house safe and clean. Now, read all these sentences clearly and then mark what according to you is the correct option of keeping your house neat and clean. Okay? Now, let's do something new. Go to a tailor shop or a textile shop and collect different pieces of cloth and paste them in your scrapbook. And then identify the type of cloth. You can take the help of your parents or also you can ask any elders or the tailor himself to tell you what type of fiber or what type of cloth it is. Okay. Now, here is a word grid, the names of 9 clothes we wear in winter season. You have to find them out. Okay. For example, it can be gloves. Okay. It can be a muffler. So, I have already given you a hint of 2 words. Now, rest of them you have to find them. Alright. Now, explore. We build houses depending upon the weather conditions. In places with heavy rainfall, what type of roof is being built? Okay. If we make flat roof, what problems do we face? So, children, just to give you a hint, in rainy season, okay, especially in places with heavy rainfall, the roofs are slanting. So, they help the water to glide down. Okay, or slide down from the roof and it does not get gathered. Okay, the water is not accumulated or gathered. So, now I have already given you the hint. You have to elaborate this and find more information about it. Alright, but before you do that, quickly reread the chapter, complete all the exercises and projects and then get on to this exploring project. Alright children, get going.